أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this video I will read or I will explain to you what I wrote some years ago. I think first published in my country, Nigeria, 2010, 1431 after Hijrah. To educate Nigerians, those interested, let them understand Islam and then find their way out in paradise. The book is here. Usul al-Fiqh al-Islam, a brief, concise approach to understanding Islamic jurisprudence. Brief, concise approach. Okay? The book began with, there are I think about 13 sections, including conclusion. The conclusion is, what is Usul al-Fiqh al-Islam about? Muslim jurists and the scholars' effort to explain the Sunnah. Then Alfāz, dā'iratun, baynal, nazr, the lexicon of the Sunnah. My sincere advice to the Muslim Umma, and the references. The references are not many. Al-Jawziyah, Al-Shatibi, Al-Shafi'i Risala, Al-Awani Taha Jabir, Dr. Fatih Darini, Abdurrahman I. Doy, and the Clark, Ali Abul Hassan, Al-Ikai fi Usul al-Hakam, Al-Juwaini, Khalaf, Al-Khidri, Ibn Manzur, Muhammad Zuhra, Tarikh al-Madahib al-Fiqhiyya, Rumani Shibli, Nazi Imran A.K., Shatibi, and Ibn Taymiyyah. Page 167 pages. Precise, concise. A brief and a concise approach. Now, what I want to explain to you is the deception the majority of Muslim scholars make. They are just devils, shayatin al-ins. Yuhi ba'dhum ila ba'd zukhruf qawl gurura. They are just telling us deception, nothing else. That's nothing like the truth. How can Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent as a message to mankind, seeking knowledge compulsory in Medina, saying even if you are go to China, if you have to go to China, it's obligatory and compulsory on a believer and a Muslim. Then somebody restricts you from going to China to learn a single hadith. So this is what they are telling us. So why should we perpetually live in deception? As if the promise of Allah is not true. That la tajtama'ul ummati ala dalala. My ummah will never unite, be one under deception and the confusion and the misguidance. Well, I hope I fit into those who are trying to revive the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, what everybody is saying about Islam from Abu Bakr, even Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ma kuntu bid'an min ar-rusuli. I am not a new man. I haven't brought a newfangled doctrine. وَمَا أَدْرِي مَا يُفْعَلُ بِي وَلَا بِكُمْ. I never know. I don't tell you that I will not enter hellfire or I will not be punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In أَتَّبِعُ إِلَّا مَا يُوحَى إِلَيَّ وَمَا أَنَا إِلَّا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Look at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, freeing himself from anything. Then they told him, change it, badilhu. He said, ma yakunu li an ubadiluhu min tilqa'i nafsi. I cannot change it on my own accord, my wish, my intentions. In atabi illa ma yuha ilayya. I just not doing anything, but I have to follow what has been revealed unto me. So, my brothers, we have explained to you, informed you that there is maziyah and manaqib. You are just like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You are also created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to obey him. And in that obedience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compared us or reminded us of the angels that never for any moment flicker intends to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what are we after? Seek knowledge. يرفع الله الذين آمنوا والذين أوتوا ويرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجة. So what if you don't seek the knowledge, bring it out? So what is your position in the world? What is your honor? You have no honor at all. You are an idiot. You are stupid. You are nincompoop. So what are you saying? You have forgotten that when Allah asks you about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what are you going to say? That I heard people saying about Muhammad and I said it. What will Allah tell you? Enter hellfire. So my brothers, all these people you honor, you know differently Sahaba saying, what I say, if it's not from the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is my own understanding. But how many of them? How many? First 30 years tell us in misunderstanding the opinions of the Sahabas, and that's agreement within the period of 30 years. Even Ibn said not more than 40. Now, the first student or the first publication or compilation of the Sunnah was done by Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Where are the documents? Nobody knows where they are. Then Abu Hanifa, not an Arab, a Persian. They came to Medina between 34 to 40 after Hijrah. They settled in Kufa because that was the center of Islamic education. The Sahabas were there, about 1,065 of them. And they said he met Ali ibn Abi Talib and even gave him a sweet. Abu Hanifa was born 80 after Hijrah, 7 years before the death of the last Sahaba in Kufa, during the reign of Abdul Malik bin Marwan, the second king of the house of Marwan. The Sahabas alive at that particular time in the Muslim Empire were Anas bin Malik in Basra. He died 93 after Hijrah, that is 13 years after the birth of Abu Hanifa. Suhail ibn Sa'ad in Medina, 91 after Hijrah. Abdullah ibn Yunus in Damascus, 88 after Hijrah. And Abu Tufail Amir bin Wathila, 100 after Hijrah. So, how many Sahabas? According to my own ijtihad, only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 Sahabas. But not in Kufa. So, that was his life. A merchant. Accidentally, he met one teacher in Kufa who called one of his students, but happened to be Abu Hanifa. He did not begin classes very early, so he invited him to attend his classes. The tradition then is to admit believers to hadith literature at the age of 20 years. They said that he was admitted. Immediately he was admitted. He opened his own school. But what was written is that around 120 after Hijrah, he was able to assemble about 30 to 40 students to review what they intended to review, not on the Sunnah. Let us be distinct and clear, because that is the point, the pivot of our disagreement with you. What he says is that, according to the books I have here, Umma, by the incarcerated Salman Uda, he wrote or extracts from this book by Muhammad Zuhra, Tarikh al-Madahib al-Islamiyya fi Siyasa wal-Aqaid. Now, don't forget, I have read you my references. So this book is not a small book. It's a book made of ijtihad to fit into our thinking and what is our requirement. That is what should be the gist of any believer writing. Don't just read, don't write on translation, no. Write on understanding. To attract Muslim Umma to leave their innovations and come back to the truth. Let them further their education. Now, all of them said the Quran, the Hadith, or the Sunnah, which must be distinct from the Hadith. That is the actions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because they may reject that particular Hadith because it's not any action. Let us understand the Sunnah. It's not everything a Hadith is the Sunnah. So the Holy Quran, the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Sunnah of the Sahabas. Okay? Then some of them say they are not even interested on the students of the Sahabas. They too must follow the command of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Seeking education is compulsory and obligatory. And on what is on the ground, what you will benefit from, not what somebody else will benefit. And explain that one of the 4 pillars of Islam. Now, Abu Hanifa's method of istinbat, he said, if a hadith is sound, that is my way. It is not allowed for one to accept my ijtihad if he does not know how I arrived at the ijtihad. He warned one of his favorite students, Abu Yusuf, do not write whatever you heard from me, for I would say something today and then change my mind in the next day. Shall I repeat? Do not write whatever you heard from me, for I would say something today and then change my mind the next day. Shall I repeat? Follow the Sunnah. Do not write whatever you heard from me, for I would say something today and then change my mind the next day. My ijtihad should be dropped in preference to what is in the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Holy Apostle, not his hadith. Not his hadith. Let us be distinct and careful as Arabic language is. Okay. Now, what is justification of praising or telling us about Abu Hanifa? Is that justified today? Let us be wise and civilized. Is that justification telling me about Abu Hanifa? Who is he? With all this sincerity. Now let us consider what the advice he gave us. Consider the acquisition of knowledge as your primary task. Who needs this from him? After you have completed it, turn to acquiring wealth by legitimate means. Who requires this one? For knowledge and wealth cannot be acquired simultaneously. But it happened after in Medina. They had the knowledge and acquiring. What they did, they asked. Some of the Sahabas, immigrants, refused help. They said they should be given land to till. Look, is this statement right? It's false. They said, no, Rasulullah, give us. Let us use our power and energy. We don't like to be slaves, to be looked down upon. Thereafter marry, but only when you are sure that you will be able to shoulder the responsibility of looking after your family. What happened to Abdullah ibn Umar when he wanted to get married? Rasulullah said, oh, what is your income? You don't have anything. You are not even in our register. Look at this. Who needs this statement? Illiterates. Do not marry a woman who has children by a former husband. It's untrue. What happened after the Battle of Badr? How many lost their husbands? Were they left flying in the air? Mix sparingly with the common people and the rich. The latter might think that you expect something from them, and they might be led by this to offer you bribes. When you discuss on learned subjects, speak after the reflection. Speak after due reflection, and say only that which you can produce sufficient proof. From where? The Holy Quran and the Sunnah. Never get involved in discussion with people who do not know the rules of debate or who become unpleasant. This is not a verse of the Holy Quran. ولا تجادلوا بأهل الكتاب إلا بالتي هي أحسن وقولوا آمنا بالله. Is this not the Holy Quran? وإذا رأيت الذين يخوضون في آياتنا فأعرض عنهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره. This is not the Holy Quran. Who needs him? I don't need him. But why should I allow myself to be enslaved? An idiot. Well, that's the difference. I have the means. I will be among those Allah will come very close to. Ask, Mustafa, Sani, did I not send you a messenger? Did I not give you a favor? What did you do with the favor I gave you? Hey, I'm in trouble. Anybody who knows my history knows that I'm in great trouble. I cannot have any excuse of not learning Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, believing in him and the following his sunnah and never keeping silent when I see wrong. So this is what he told us. So what else are you waiting for? So my brothers, from this, I will just give you one simple example. They call the wits of Abu Hanifa. One day Abu Hanifa was strolling with Hamad to see Amash off and the time of Maghrib set in. There was no water for them to perform ablution. Look at this. Speculation. Hamad ruled out that they could perform tayammum. Abu Hanifa disagreed and argued that they should wait for water to become available till a moment before the expiry of the time prescribed for the Maghrib prayer. That too, when did Angel Gabriel led Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam during his second visit? This is not true. Hamad agreed. Look at Hamad, his teacher. And after walking for a while, they were able to find water. They performed ablution. That is not true. So look at what they said is the wits of Abu Hanifa. Ra'i, due to what? Not knowing the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Number two, one day Abu Hanifa was walking with Ata bin Abi Rabah. He died 114 after Hijrah. When he was asked the meaning of Quran chapter 38:43, we gave him back his family and along with them the like thereof as a mercy from us and a reminder for those who understand. Ata explained that Allah had brought back to life Ayub's children and gave him more children along with them. Abu Hanifa objected. How can children not born from a man's loins are called his children? Proof that he is not an Arab, a Persian. Exactly. So you see, proof that don't forget about anybody. Follow what they said. The Quran, the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then another long one. And the 5. So I don't have to keep on, if you keep on picking, how can you become a millionaire? Keep on going out trying to find dollar thrown, missed, available on the ground, picking. How can you become a millionaire? It's not rubbish. It's not leftovers. You can get a lot of food from leftovers. Yes, it's true, but there's no honor. So my brothers, I'll stop from here. And it's a proof that you must be very careful. There's a lot of deception. In this book, he described Imam Shafi'i praising Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa died 150 after Hijrah. Shafi'i was born 150 after Hijrah. What justification? Which source? From which source? Did he know Abu Hanifa? What did they ever met? So there are a lot of confusion. People who want to override you, overload you, telling you they are scholars and they know Islam. Islam is with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. A to Z. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I will continue next week on the fiqh of Abu Hanifa.